All right. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully we got everything set up and going here for the Xfinity Series tonight at crap, the track slipped my mind. Oh, Charlotte. That's right. We're here at Charlotte. Head on down through here. Qualify or warm ups, finishing up. We get a grid to show up here. Try to see if we can reload this thing. Yeah, mine's not working here on my end. Ah! Well, there we see the grid. I'm trying to get it up so I could read it. There we go. Now, let's try this again. There we are. Sage Greco out there in front. Al Lincoln's there in second. Evan Gomet there in second. Nigel Steely there fourth. Clay Sarton starts off fifth. Ryan Peters there in sixth. In seventh, we got Ben Parson. Eighth is going to be Carter Atkinson. Ninth is going to be the likes of William Gay. In 10th, Jeremiah Wilt Nelson. Graham Connolly there in 11th. Donald Ray there in 12th. In 13th tonight, that's going to be the likes of Tiffany Ellis. Joseph Spillman there in 14th. Ron Hammond there in 15th. Darrell Whitford there in 16th. Matt Morris 17th. Dylan Jacob 18th. Fred Pennington there in 19th. John Doby there in 20th. Tom Richter there in 21st. PJ Wintland there in 22nd. Josh Mitchell 23rd. James Apaw in 24th. That will be your field here tonight as they come around here. Get ready for the green flag. Yeah, you see our sponsors up in the top right-hand corner. Down through the bunch, straight away they go, side by side. Great start there by Sage Greco, getting that early lead out there in that DeWalt number 17. Throwback to a Matt Kenseth scheme. As you see them up there on the top side, Al Lincoln's there in second. Evan Gomet there in third. Clay Sarton back there in fourth. Ben Parson Browning out the top five, but that's company there. He says, whoa, and we got one sideways. Up no, into the outside wall, and calamity happens here at Charlotte. Everybody scatters to try to miss everything, locking up the tires. Looks like we got one blown up there on the top side. That's the 66. Anybody can catch that number here, 66? That's Clay Sarton. I think he's the one that started it all. As he is. Not sure if that car is totaled or not. We'll see here. As you see, the 66 gets sideways. Going to come down into the 505. Up in the outside wall. The 33 had nowhere to go. He's going to end up coming off 27 up into that outside wall. He's going to hit there. I don't think he expired. Well, I don't know. But I do know, as you see the puffs of smoke coming off the 66, he has. Clay Sarton there, top break for him. So here at lap number 3, we've got our first caution. I roll down through the front stretch. Evan Gomet there in the 68. Ron Hammond back here in the 12th spot in that 113. Josh Spillman there in the 13th. Darrell Whitford there 14th. Fred Pennington there in 15th. Dylan Jacobs there 16th. John Dubai in 17th. They all go rolling down through the backstretch here. PJ Whitland there in 19th. James Apaw in 20th. William Gay in 21st. Tom Richter there in 22nd and at 9:33. Ben Parson in the 33. All right, driver just trying to get everything situated here tonight. Sorry if my mouth is still going a little crazy here tonight. I've had a infected salivatory gland apparently. Causing me issues. It caused me issues Friday night. Causing me issues here tonight as well. As the swelling goes down, but it seems I have a few ulcers on that side of my mouth now. So, interesting. There we go, working down the front stretch, getting lined back up. Get back green flag racing here, lap number 5. All right, here we go. Coming to the green flag, back out front. Sage Greco getting another great restart here in the Flieger Farm Gaming Xfinity Series here tonight from FMA. All right, see that 77 up there on the top side. Evan Gomet running in second now. He got around there, that 937 of AJ Likens, I guess. Likens there in a number 77, but on the scoreboard, he's in a 937. Got a few drivers showing out. I'm not sure why. The only one I would think is out would be, I don't know why that does that to me here some nights. Campton, Kentucky, hometown for Al Lincolns. You see coming to his outside, Carter Atkinson. Up there on the top side, that 505 up against that outside wall, down through the front stretch. 75 laps of distance here tonight at Charlotte. As they roll down through here, up there to the top side once again. Evan Gomet here in second in that number 68, trying to hold on to it to get up there to the leader. As we saw, they got a little loose there on the first lap. Clay Sarton lost it, ends up going up into the outside wall, catching a few other drivers, and then ends up coming back and blowing up the motor. There you see the Ron Hammond machine of the 113. Great looking candy apple red on that machine there tonight. Carolina Carport's Dylan Jacobs. There you see a Toyota there of Darrell Whitford. Down the back stretch. Kind of like that car there, the 25. Josh Mitchell. I'm one for a deep purple paint scheme, kind of like that. Got a nice shine to it here. As you head off the corner, side by side, looking there, 17th and 16th and 17th there, out of that Bengals machine, Fred Pennington gets under fire there. His Fred's up there in that UPS machine. What can Brown do for you? As they head on down the backstretch here at Charlotte. Goats is filming there in the 41. Working down through the front stretch here, down into the corner number 1. The 68 of Evan Gomet getting to the lead around Sage Greco. Al Lincoln's there in third. No Nigel Steely there in fourth. They got company there with them as he's in fourth. Al Lincoln's under fire as the 8 of Nigel Steely comes there underneath. He's going to see if he can get that car to move up into that fourth or third position, dropping Lincoln's back to fourth. Now we see lap number 15 there lap number 11 on the board. Sage Greco there second, trying to get back up there. Going to battle once again here at Charlotte for that lead between Evan Gomet and Sage Greco. These drivers really put down the times here. Everybody's doing a great job, and we do have 24 drivers, so there is a decent amount here. As we see down there on the bottom side, that 38 of Wetland, as he tries to get up here. A battle James Afaw in the 2. Down around 1 and 2, everybody hanging out there. Everybody looking good. And I think this needs to be turned down just a shade, if I remember correctly. There we go. That should be about right. There we go. Now, that should be about right. Hopefully, I'm not overpowering the cars. If I am, let me know, because I want a nice balance of audio with the cars. So if I'm too loud and can't talk over the cars or something, let me know as they come down through in the corner number 3 and 4. They work down that backstretch. Tiffany Ellis up there in 14. Daryl Whitford there in 13. Head on down through here. Lap number 13 on the board. Now 14. Evan Gomet goes out front. He's got company though from Sage Greco, who hasn't really left his back bumper. A couple of drivers doing a great job here as they head on down that backstretch here. Single file in the corner number 3 and 4. What do you say? Let's try to wake up that groundhog. out there on track. Got the 27 there. Up 5 positions. You got Donald Ray up 6. Biggest mover right now looks to be Josh Mitchell here in the 14th in that number 25 machine. Working his way up through the field. Up 9 spots. Working for that hard charger here tonight on my standards. I don't know if that is true from the leagues or not. We'll have to wait for the results at the end to find out. Okay, see Matt Mars down there on the bottom. Or I'm sorry, no, that was Tiffany Ellis out on the bottom side trying to get around Matt Mars. Matt Mars up there in that mellow yellow. Working on down through turns 1 and 2. Sage Greco there in second. Nigel Steely there in third. Abigail Met there in front. Working everywhere they can here off the corner. Nigel Steely there third. Al Lincoln's there in fourth. Donald Ray back here fifth. Down into quarter number 1. Starting to spread out a little bit here at lap number 21. But for the most part, still sticking pretty tight together as we see the battle there. That's for 10th and 11th, I believe. No, 9th and 10th. As you see, Dylan Jacobs trying to get around the 505 and Carter Atkinson. Atkinson down there on the inside. Here comes Dylan Jacobs up there on the high side. Down through the front stretch, and it looks like they're going to be drag racing down into quarter number 1 as the 88 tries to get some momentum. Ron Hammond now coming up here into 11th, trying to send Carter Atkinson back here, as that's a battle for the top 10 right now. The drivers really putting on a show here in the Figure Farm Gaming Xfinity Series from Freedom Motorsport Alliance. As we head on down through here. Drivers looking good. Everybody single file for the most part. Sage Greco out front. Nigel Steely there in third. Al Lincoln's there in fourth. Donald Ray there fifth. Jeremiah Nelson there sixth. Ryan Peters there seventh. Graham Connolly there eighth. Dylan James there ninth. Ron Hammond there in 10th. We're under here. Look out. Here comes that 505 up there on the outside of the 933 of Tim Richard. Right out on down through, looking really good here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the show so far tonight. As you see that 505 looking down there to the inside. Not quite getting there. You got the 933 and Tim Richard hanging on to that 11th spot. Hammond there hanging on to 12. Atkinson, we saw him drop a few. Josh Mitchell now up 10 spots, sitting in 13. Tom Richard up 10, sitting in 11th. So it's going to be interesting to see how this race plays out as we're a third of the way through it here at lap number 26. Out of the 75 to complete here tonight. Round and round these drivers go. Starting to spread out a little bit back here toward the back. And they're going to spread out more with the likes of pit stops. see Joseph filming. Looks like 25 is going to come to pit road. That's Josh Mitchell. Al Lincoln's up there in fourth. Nigel Steele there in third. Looking there at Joseph Spillman. There's Darrell Whitford. See them all heading out there. Lap 30 at 75. Evan Gomet, your leader. Evan Gomet in the pit road, maybe. No, just blinking out here on my screen. Got one there in the second now. As Sage Greco takes over the lead. Nigel Steele there in third. Al Lincoln's there in fourth. Down there off the corner they go. All right, Al Lincoln's there in fourth. Jeremiah Nelson there fifth. Donald Ray in sixth. Ryan Peters there seventh. Graham Connolly there eighth. Dylan Jacobs there in ninth. Tom Richer up 11 spots now as he works up there into the top 10. All right, down here through the corner they go. Great job so far here tonight by the driver. Only one caution, and that was there at lap number 1 for Clay Sarton. He ended up having problems. Carter Atkinson having issues here tonight. That 505 down in the 22nd. He goes around there in the back, and as we said, with these pit stops, that is going to throw things here into a little bit of an interesting match. Atkinson did come into pit. Josh Mitchell come into pit. So that's going to be why they're showing down there at the bottom of the leaderboard. Don't take it as out. They are not out. They're just down there towards the back of the leaderboard. For some reason, my scoreboard wants to call them out, but they are not. An issue that I haven't gotten to the bottom of yet. Fred Peddington there in 20th. John Dubai there 21st. Carter Atkinson 22nd. Al Lincoln's up there in second. Finally there in 7th. Dylan Jacob up 10 spots. Tom Richter there in 9th. Up against that outside wall goes Dylan Jacob. That's going to open the door for Tom Richter. As they heading up through. Well, hang on to it. Don't want to go down across the nose. Evan Gomet jumped to the pits. Not sure what happened to Gomet, as he was running okay. Now back here in 19th, coming off the pit road. There you see Nigel Steele coming there. There's the 21 coming off. That's John Dubai. We got under green flag racing conditions here. Green flag pit stop. Sage Greco out front. Al Lincoln's there second. Jeremiah Nelson there in third. Ryan Peter there fourth. Donald Ray there fifth. Graham Connolly there sixth. Dylan Jacobs there in seventh. Dylan Jacobs, our biggest mover of the race right now, our hardest charger. James Applaw back here in 15th, up 9 spots. And see a few more drivers down there on the pit lane. They're doing well down here at Drew in the corner number 1 and 2. 75 laps the distance. We're coming up here to lap 41, which will be put 40 in the books. Donald Ray there fourth. Dylan Jacobs there fifth. William Gay 6th. Joseph Spillman there 7th. Matt Mars there 8th. Tiffany Ellis there 9th. Brett Pennington there in 10th. Dylan Jacobs comes to pit road. So Ryan Peters, Ben Parson there on pit road. You got the 2 James Applaw down there on pit road. Ryan Peters, as we said, coming in. Tiffany Ellis coming in there in the number 40. Sage Greco made his pit stop back here in 12th. Standing the lead over to Al Likens. Al Likens. Likens there with with the lead. And some of these drivers, if they're up front like this, they'll take that moment to run an extra lap to get those bonus points before coming into the pit. They come around here into corner number 3 and 4. There you see Jeremiah Wilson there in second. William Gay in third. Joseph Spillman there fourth. Matt Mars there in fifth. Brett Pennington there in sixth. As they come on rolling down here into corner number 1 and 2. Back around onto that backstretch. Up there to the outside wall. Jeremiah Nelson there in second. William Gay there in third. Joseph Spillman there fourth. Matt Mars there fifth. Brett Pennington there in sixth. Evan Gomet there in seventh. Sage Greco there in 8th. He works his way back towards the front. Lincoln's coming in. Jeremiah Wilson coming in. Jeremiah Nelson coming in, sorry. William Gay still out there. We'll see if he comes in. He will. That'll hand the lead over to Joseph Spillman. Spillman came in. Let's see here. No, Spillman has not come in yet. Thought he did. Pennington has yet to come in. Same with Matt Mars. Matt Mars hasn't come in yet. These drivers wishing for a caution to stay up front on the lead lap. Not quite going to get it though. We're getting a little farther spread out. Got that 34. And looking to see who else around him. Matt Mars. Got the 33 there. Ben Parson. There comes the 88 of Dylan Jacobs. Getting around Matt Mars. Let's see who's around the 27 of Jeremiah Nelson. That's the 5 of Ryan Peters. Caution is out. Joseph Spillman out there on the front of the field right now. Graham Connolly in the number 71 ends up going around. And with some help. And here, look here, the 71 up there on the top side. Here comes the 21. Getting tight. Ends up going up the racetrack. That is John Dubai. We'll see if we can get a helmet cam here. We'll see exactly what happened here. And then you can take your guess here from the helmet cam of John Dubai. It doesn't seem like he really grazed him that hard. I don't even know if he knows he's out there. We'll see here. Coming into the corner. Hard to see. I don't see him in the mirror, and then all of a sudden he's there. Come down, and yeah, just tough racing there. I mean, when was the last time he saw him in the mirror? Now there you see him there in the mirror. Back a couple laps. And he's watching the race. He might not have noticed him come up there that was outside. They worked through the corner. It's through there okay. I think it's through turn 1. Now you can hear him kind of let off trying to get that car to hug that line. Sounds like he got tight. And it just drifted up the racetrack. Oh, from the helmet cam there of John Dubai. Everybody else out on the backstretch. Graham Connolly lap down back here. And at number 71. Joseph Spillman, after his pit stop, comes out sitting about fourth. But we've got lap cars intermixed here. And you see Donald Ray there in the 19. Al Lincoln's. Jeremiah Nelson. And then there's a lap car there between them. Joseph Spillman's there in fourth. There's a bunch of lap down machines there behind the lap car, the pace car. Now we're here at lap number 49. Might go green with 26 laps to go. As the cars get around, here comes the leader. He's going to choose the top side. Al Lincoln's, that means he's going to drift it down there to the bottom. Jeremiah Nelson there in third. Joseph Spillman there in fourth. Evan Gomet there fifth. Sage Greco there sixth. Fred Pennington there in seventh. Brian Peters eighth. Carter Atkinson ninth. Nigel Steele there in 10th. Matt Bard back here in 11th. Hey, drivers fight hard tonight. Down here across start finish line. Great restart there by Donald Ray. They come on down into corner number 1. Al Links there in second. Joseph Spillman there now fourth. Now fifth. Has that inside line. Gets moving by him. He needs to try to get down there and get in line. Here comes that 17. It's Sage Greco. He's making a move to the inside. Great move there by him. Here in the Flinger Farm Gaming Xfinity Series here tonight. Caution is out. Nigel Steele going off track. As you see the 41 loose. And there you see him come up and try to avoid one wreck. Gets into the 76 there of Fred Pennington. Both keep it under control and get back going, but the caution does come out. Here with 25 laps to go. Good evening there, Spillman. How's it going?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I see you're back there in about 15th spot right now in that Bengals machine.
Well, I wasn't fourth until I just spun.
Well, what happened there? I mean, it looks like you might have lost it a little bit.
I just came out of the pits and had cold tires, and whoever's in that DeWalt machine up there decided to dive bomb me, so I had to go. I had to get out of my line, and I was going a little bit too fast to take an alternate line, is what happened.
All right, that's tough. So, I mean, hopefully you'll work your way back up. I mean, you've been looking pretty good. I mean, I do have to talk some crap on you though about that Bengals ski.
Oh, who day?
No.
Yeah. I'm not a Steelers fan. Them and their terrible towels.
I cheer on both PA teams.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You root for two separate NFL teams?
I do.
Oh, you can't do that. You got to pick one.
Oh, I cheer on two. Look, they're in different divisions.
It don't matter.
Sure it does.
No, you can't. You can't root for two NFL teams. It's against the rules.
Says who?
They're my rules, and you can't do it.
Oh man, come on! I watch both because there's one thing I'd love to see is I'd love to see a turnpike bull.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'd love to see a turnpike bull.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it happening, but I think it'd be cool to have two out of the same state be in the Super Bowl together.
Well, that's happened before, but I don't think you're going to get that before or until Pittsburgh finds an actual quarterback.
Yeah, I know they got a terrible quarterback coming in, I think.
yeah, I think so too.
I haven't heard too much about it. I don't pay too much attention in the off season.
Me either.
So, but hopefully, it looks like you're going to get going back green here. You got about 22 laps till the finish. We'll see what you can do to get that car back up to the field.
I'm going to full send, Adam.
All righty. Go for it. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Down here into the corner they go. They got Donald Ray as the control car, but he's now down on the inside with Al Lincoln's up there on the outside. Lights are off. Fred will pull that machine down there onto the inside, pulling it down onto pit road. There he goes. Green flag's going to come out. And then we'll be back green flag racing here with 22 laps to go. Green flag out. Donald Ray gets the jump. That inside lane gets moving along. That's going to move Jeremiah Nelson up there in the second if he can hold on to it. You see them double file coming down there into the corner. Al Lincoln's up there on the top. Sage Greco down there on the inside. Going to fight for it. Got the 68 there of Evan Gomet on the top side. They come down there in the corner, number 3 and 4, back around. You see Evan Gomet has company there with Sage Greco down there on the inside. 77 there of Al Lincoln's trying to hold him off. Can't hold everybody off as he now has got him going down there below. He's got Sage Greco now underneath him coming for that third spot as they come down through the backstretch. 21 laps to go. Matt Mars back here. Joe Spillman back here in 16th. Joe, you're going the wrong way. You need to go forward, not backward. He works underneath the 113 lap down machine. Now take a look back up front, side by side there. Sage Greco goes into third. Evan Gomet, he's looking there to the bottom side of Hal Lincoln's. As Lincoln's there tries to hang on to Gomet. Gomet has to settle back into fifth. Lincoln's there is in fourth. Gomet looking there, trying to see if he can get down there. Does he? He doesn't yet. Gonna see if he can. No. Lincoln's hangs on to it. Down there, gonna try to get underneath Sage. Now coming out here into quarter number one. Can't quite get there, but here comes Gomet down there on the bottom side. Lincoln's way up there against the outside wall. Leaving that bottom side way open. Whoa! And off the wall comes Greco. Now Greco has to clean it back up there behind the 27 of Nelson. Looking up there to the top side. Oh, here we go. Greco gets Gomet gets around Lincoln's. Heading down through here, looking there to the bottom side. That's the 5 of Ryan Peters. Fred Pennington there in 8th spot. He's trying to bring up another spot here if he can in that 76 UPS machine. What can Brown do for you as he's sitting there trying to bring it up through the field? Dylan Jacobs there in 9th. Matt Barnes there in 10th. William Gay there in 11th. Head on down through. More smoke. That time coming off the 27 of Jeremiah Nelson. That could have been who we saw come off of before, too, instead of that 17. Happens so quick, and when they're so bunched up, it's hard to tell. Now you see that 5 of Ryan Peters getting down there, trying to battle underneath Lincoln's. And they come there off the corner. Great job here. They roll down through corner 3 and 4 here with 17 laps to go. Soon to be 16. As Evan Gomet comes there to third, Jeremiah Nelson fourth. Al Lincoln's there in 6th, now 5th. He tried to keep a hold of it there. Bob Ryan Peters. Nigel Steely in 7th down there in that 8th machine. Fred Pennington sitting there in 8th. Watching all this happen in front of him. He needs one more spot to be the race's biggest mover, if I'm seeing here. And that is correct. The 88, Dylan Jacobs getting into the outside wall, coming off of 4. William Gay back here in that 75. Ben Parson there in the 13th place in the number 33. Joseph Billman now up there in the 14th. He starts to get that car rolling the better direction here. Now we work down the back stretch. There you see Sage Greco there in third. Here comes Evan Gomet. He's going to start working on the back bumper of Donald Ray. Donald Ray comes there off of corner number 4, back across the stripe. 14 laps to go. All that down there, very similar lap time between the leader and second and third place. As Gomet tries to get down there, try to battle there. Gets a run there down into the corner. Can he make something happen? He's pulling up side by side of Donald Ray, coming off the corner. Ray's still going to have it. But look out here. There you go. Got a run down there on the inside. Not quite enough. And now here comes Greco there, trying to force it in there underneath as well. As that door's open. Trying to work with Gomet to get that car back up there to the front. As they start stacking up side by side. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4 they go. Side by side. There's that 68 of Evan Gomet making a run for the lead. Now you see Sage Greco back here in third. Not sure which driver to kind of help along. Here comes that 5 of Ryan Peters sitting there in fourth. Fred Pennington up to 7th. He got himself up another position, working down through the field, making a great run here. Al Lincoln's there in 6th. Ryan Peters there in 5th. Nigel Steely down in the corner number 3 and 4. In that pass pro shot machine, Donald Ray trying to hang on the best he can as he's got the momentum guys down there on the bottom side. Sage Greco coming along, and you got the 8 of Nigel Steely trying to work their way down there. It seems like the bottom lane has a little bit more momentum in certain areas of the racetrack. And they come working off the corner. You see the 17 slide up there in front of the 19 of Donald Ray. As the 8 works down there on the bottom side, Nigel Steely trying to work his way along. Sage Greco trying to chase down the leader. Donald Ray falling back now. Fred Pennington, he's still trying to work his way forward. But it looks like he's got Jeremiah Nelson there in the 27, trying to chase him down. I don't know if he is or not, as we saw him hit the wall a few times. That could be what gave that position there to Pennington. I see Lincoln's down there on the inside, trying to get underneath Ryan Peters. Cannot quite get there. Donald Ray has fallen back into 6th. Working there off the bottom side of the racetrack there, and with 9 laps to go. Down in the corner number 3, Sage Greco there in 2nd, Nigel Steely there 3rd, Ryan Peters there 4th, Al Lincoln's there 5th, Donald Ray there in 6th, Fred Pennington there in 7th, Jeremiah Nelson there 8th, William Gay in 9th, Matt Marks there 10th, Carter Atkinson there in 11th, Ben Parson back there 12th, Joseph Spillman 13th, Tiffany Ellis 14th, and Darrell Whitford back there 15th, rounding out your field. One a night for these drivers. There you see Evan Gomet has a mere full of Sage Greco. 8 laps to go. They come here out of turn number 4. Back down that front straightaway. 7 laps to go. They come across the stripe. Nigel Steely there in 3rd. Greco now going to try the high side here through 1 and 2. Try to get that run on the outside now. As they come down the backstretch. Gets up there, gets some momentum coming off of 2. Cannot quite get there. Now he goes up top again. Going to try to bring it down through the corner. Right there on the bumper. He's going to see if he can bring it down underneath, bringing that cut down. Down underneath the 68 of Gomet. Sage Greco gets the nose out there. Boy, that was a move there. Too bad it wasn't the last lap there, Greco. Now you got to fight him off here to keep it going. 6 more laps to go. Gomet back down there in the 2nd as Greco takes the lead. Links here in 4th. Nigel Steely there in 3rd. Pennington here in 9th place now. He was up to 7th, but William Gay getting around him, and so does Jeremiah Nelson. Donald Ray back here in 6th, and that number 19 falling back there after leading quite a bit. Ryan Peters there in 5th. Nigel Steely, A.J. Atkins going, Al Lincoln's going at it. Lincoln's there at 3rd. Steely now back to 4th. 5 to go. They work down into corner number 3 and 4. Back around here. Doing what they can across the stripe. They go. 4 laps to go. Here on the pole from Fligger Farm TV, Freedom Motorsport Alliance, Fligger Farm Gaming Xfinity Series. William Gay there 7th, Jeremiah Nelson there 8th, Fred Pennington there 9th. Matt Mars in 10th, Ben Parson. Matt Mars in 10th, Ben Parson there in 11th. Carter Atkinson there in 12th. 3 laps to go, coming here off of 2. Greco put down a pace out front. Almost a half a second faster than 2nd place of Gomet. As Gomet's falling off there. A little quicker that lap. 2/10 slower is Gomet. There you go, Lincoln's coming off the corner. Nigel Steely there in 4th. Two laps to go. These drivers really putting on the show tonight. They work down the front stretch here. Final lap for Sage Greco in that number 17 machine here tonight. Evan Gomet there 2nd. Al Lincoln's there 3rd. Nigel Stilley there in fourth. Ryan Peters there fifth. Donald Ray 6th. William Gay there 7th. Jeremiah Nelson in 8th. Fred Pennington 9th. Ben Parson back here in 10th. Coming there off of turn number 4 comes the back of the pack. Turn number 4, turn number 2. Turn number 4 for the leader. Here as he comes off, he will grab the win here from Charlotte. Down here through the front stretch into corner number 1 for his victory lap. Sage Greco taking the win here tonight. Evan Gomet there second. Al Lincoln's there third. All right, I bring it on to pit road. Where's Sage Greco? Coming back out there onto the front stretch. Bringing everything he can. Donut time. Who's hungry? Get here with our winners here. See if we can find Al Lincoln's. I'm not seeing Al here around. If somebody knows where I might find him. Evan Gomet. We'll start with him, second place finisher. Good evening there, Evan. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Great job there getting second place tonight. Unfortunately, he just couldn't hold off Greco.
Yeah, he was quick. He seems to be a little bit better than tire saving at me, so I have to learn. Yeah, it was good racing.
It was good racing to watch here from the booth, and I can't wait to see what you got coming there again here, not next week. But great job tonight there in that number 68 machine. How did that car feel overall tonight?
It felt great, of course, on new tires, and then it kind of just got tight towards the end of the run, but everyone was kind of battling that towards the end. Charlotte's just a little weird. There's no way to drive it anywhere that's not off the right front. So it's hard to save tire really good while being competitive.
We saw a few drivers, after pit stops have some issues with the cold tires and ended up going around. I mean, we had that caution on lap 1 for it, and I believe it was lap 49 as well.
Yeah, cold tires was a huge deal. I made sure to drag, brake, and weave as much as I could, just because going to turn 1, especially on restarts on cold tires, was just a nightmare. So getting heat in them was super important.
And there's no way to put heat to them under caution, right?
I tend to drag, brake, and weave a little bit. Everyone has their own secrets. Everyone has their own ways of doing it. But yeah, there's certain ways to do it.
I've heard people say that, it's a racing sim. You can't heat the tires.
No, it definitely matters. You could tell the difference on who does and who doesn't, and I've gone to turn 1 and spun out, and then heated my tires up and haven't spun out, so there's something to it.
I mean, I've always thought there was a difference, but, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I'll always believe in it.
I mean, well, you did a great job getting second. You got sponsor shots. Anybody you want to thank there for helping you get into the second spot?
I want to thank Hometown Garage, always a great sponsor. I want to thank my family for watching, Freedom Motorsports Alliance for putting on this race, and you for broadcasting.
Yeah, definitely. appreciate it, and always a fun time to go out there and have fun.
Yeah, it's a great time.
So, well, you have yourself a great night. Enjoy that victory here tonight, or not the victory, but second place here tonight. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right.
So enjoy that second place as best you can. I know you really wanted that victory, and it showed. I mean, you really drove it as hard as you could. Just unfortunately, just not quite enough.
Yeah, congrats to Sage. Thanks for having me.
All righty, take care there, Evan. All right, now we'll see. I see we found Lincoln's. Hi there, Al. How's it going? Your mic's muted if you didn't realize. You there, Al? I need to know one question. I need to know if I'm saying your last name correctly. Well, we don't hear him yet. We'll come back to him, see if we can get the radios to connect. Good evening there, Sage. How is Victory Lane?
What's going on, brother? How we doing?
It's going well. That 17 looked great out on the racetrack.
Yeah, it sure felt good all night. That was a lot of fun. Had a good time out there.
How'd your car feel on the cold tires after pit stop?
Cold tires, it's so weird because you get used to the old tires after a long run, and then you go get fresh tires, and I feel like it drives better, like with old tires, because you got to learn how to drive it all over again.
All right, you did that good, and hopefully that'll help you out in points going forward. I don't know how many races you've raced here with FMA or anything like that. I haven't really looked at the stats lately, but you look like you had that car set well tonight for you and got that win.
Yeah, that was fun. I'll tell you what, anytime you can beat Evan, like just on a green flag run, that's a lot. That dude's got a lot of talent. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun racing with him.
All right, well, congrats there getting the victory. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Nope, just 22 a day. Just make sure you, if you got veteran active duty friends, make sure you check up on them.
All righty. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next race.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see if we got Al here. Al, you got us yet? Al, you there? Yep, not working. I don't know if we'll be able to get with Al or not for third place. So, Al, we'll try to catch up with you next week to try to get that all squared away. But great job tonight. Here's your finishing results here tonight. You got Sage Greco there as your winner. Evan Gomet there second. Al there third. Nigel Steele there fourth. Ryan Peters there fifth. Donald Ray in sixth. William Gay there seventh. Jeremiah Nelson there in eighth. Fred Pennington there in ninth. Ben Parson there in 10th. Matt Mars Matt Mars there in 11th. You got Matt Mars there 11th. Carter Atkinson 12th. Tiffany Ellis there 13th. Daryl Woodford there 14th. PJ Wetland there in 15th. Joseph Spillman 16th. Dylan Jacobs 17th. John Dubai in 18th. Ron Hammond there 19th. Graham Connolly there in 20th. James Apaw there in 21st. Tom Richer there 22nd. Josh Mitchell there 23rd. Clay Sarton there in 24th. That is your finishing order here tonight. So thank you so much, Eric. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the race that we had here tonight. But we do have an important announcement here, and I forgot to bring it to your attention before now. Hopefully I can get this to come up just fine. We'll see here if it does. As I forgot to mention, the race today was sponsored by Sage Greco for 22aday.org. Hope matters, help matters. Definitely keep an eye on your veteran friends, or anybody for that matter. As, I mean, mental health is nothing to be ashamed of. It's not, I mean, we definitely don't want to lose anybody for it. So, and that 22 a day, that's apparently how many veterans a day claim their life to suicide because of everything they go through. We'd like to try to change that statistic here at FMA, along with ourselves here at Maker Farm TV. So please support your local veterans. We would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Sage. I forgot to mention it throughout the race here, but we got you here at the end. But thanks again, everybody that donates here to FMA, everybody that donates to all these great causes that you might see throughout the season. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a great, great night.